Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. So this is the first of three-ish shop videos. This video here is we're gonna be working on something kind of unique, kind of different. It's a 1974, 6, 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. It's many years, so this is a custom ordered, the body's a 76, so I'm gonna refer to it as a 76. So it's a 1976 Ford F-350 extended cab that was custom ordered by an airport. 76 F-350, but they cut the frame right behind the cab, and they literally right there, they put a Dana 60 rear end dually. It looks funky. It's very short wheelbase dually. I diagnosed it 2 weeks ago, but it took that long for parts to get here because USPS is snail mail. Meow. Serious front end work. We're gonna do kingpins, bushings, some other stuff. So we're gonna get it fired up, pull it in. It's got a 390 in it with a automatic. I'm gonna get it fired up, pull it in here, and we'll get this ripping and tearing. All right, let's have a look-see, shall we? There she is. The last time I got in this and moved it, I had a mouse crawl over my leg, and I'm not a fan of that. Hell to the no, no, no. Hey, I'm trying to record. Be quiet. So everything wrong with it is just old age stuff. Everything's worn out. So nothing's really broken. It's just everything's worn out. So mostly bushings. So it's got Ford's twin I-beam suspension on it. So we're gonna end with kingpins. So we're gonna do kingpins. I'm gonna inspect the wheel bearings while we're in there, and all new axle bushings on the I-beams. And then one of the biggest things I noticed right away, because it clunks and it's not very safe, was it's got stabilizer bars that run parallel with the frame and hook onto the frame and then go down to the I-beam. So it's like a traction bar on a pickup truck. It runs parallel with the frame, hooks on the frame, goes back to the rear diff. The bushings for those are completely gone. So the front wheels just go back and forth, and it clunks and it doesn't feel good. Parts are here. We should have everything. And we are going to go ahead and start ripping and tearing. My father's coming over in a little bit with his semi, his big truck, because the AC quit working again. So we're gonna rip and tear until he gets here, and then we'll probably pick up tomorrow. So I am really glad I stumbled across this website. This is LMC Truck. They seem to specialize in everything from the 40s all the way up till current, I don't think current, mid 90s-ish trucks. And they had everything I needed for this truck. You click on suspension, for a 19 whatever to whatever, big exploded views, very easy to find everything, part numbers, and everything's listed out. So like I said, if you have an older truck, need parts for pretty much anything, body panel, suspension, LMC Truck, I will definitely be going back to them for anything truck related, older truck related anyway. All right, so it is up in the air, resting on jack stands. Scared the crap out of us because I don't know when the last time this was up in the air. So the weight was taken off the front axles. But so the left side, the stabilizer bar, the bushings are gone. This side, we got it up in the air and I walked away and heard a loud pop. This must be. The bushing popped because the weight of the axle was on the bushing. And they're all of them are disintegrated. All right, roll under here. I might switch to the GoPro, it'll be a little easier. But yeah, so that right there, there's supposed to be rubber bushings in between there. So that's what, look at my finger, about 1.5 inches, looking up at it, 1.5 inches of movement this way. And the axle is not supposed to go this way. It's supposed to be stationary. So yeah, that's not good. And then the other side is the one that popped. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of mooshed out towards us a little bit. Yeah, that wasn't like that a few seconds ago. And then kingpins are tight. Everything's okay. It's just there's a lot of play this way, up and down. So the bushings are pretty much gone, so there's an excessive amount of play up and down. So we're gonna replace all the bushings, place the kingpin. Springs and shocks look okay for now, and the steering components all look okay for now. The guy's on a budget, kind of, a little bit at a time, so we're gonna do the most important stuff first, and then give me a second, I'll show you the other big thing that's wrong with it. So right here, He was saying that the steering wheel would, that old 390 right there, the steering wheel would get loose tight when he's turning. And you can see right there underneath the brake booster, that is the steering shaft, and that is all like crumbled away. I don't know how this thing is still steering at all. So I think we're going to tackle the steering shaft first. This is where the steering shaft comes out of the firewall, connects to this little guy here, and then this goes into the steering box, the little teeth right there. It's cast and it's crumbling apart. So I'm going to probably end up breaking this the rest of the way to get it off, and then we'll replace this real quick, and then we'll start tackling suspension. But I think my dad's gonna be here to work on his AC momentarily. So if I don't see you, if I don't get this off, we're gonna work on a big truck, and then I'll get back with you tomorrow.
2 days later.
All right, so fast forward 2 days. What you just got done watching was 2 days ago. I really wanted to work on the beast here last night, but I had a few things that I had to take care of, so I wasn't able to work on it. So tonight we are going to get back on this, probably tackle the kingpins. Oh, let me show you the steering coupler thing that I finished up. So here is the steering coupler. It was literally moments away from breaking completely, and he would have no steering ability. Glad I found that and got that changed. Now there is some issues with the actual steering column that I let him know about, but he said no big deal. He's gonna end up changing the column out anyway later on down the road. So we're gonna get back at it. If the owner of the truck is watching this video, sorry it's taking me so long. This is, like I said earlier, some few things here in between, and then this thing is old and nothing is coming apart correctly. So it's not like a brand new Honda Civic. It's done in a minute or two. This is heating and beating and just a challenge. All right, this thing is kicking my butt. It's old, crusty, everything is tight. I'll show you the reason why we're doing kingpins on this thing. So I lift up on the spindle here, if you can see it. Gap, no gap. Gap, no gap. Got the, well, basically the kingpin is not coming out, which half of me thought, yeah, hopefully I can get lucky. Then half of me is like, it's from the 70s, it ain't coming out.
You serious?
I'm gonna have to go buy a bigger press. The press that I have is not big enough. Take the whole I-beam out and press the kingpin out of the I-beam. I got tools absolutely scattered, but basically what we're looking at here, yeah, so the spindle is turning on the kingpin just fine, but the kingpin, which is right in here, is not moving from the I-beam here. It is not moving whatsoever. It is seized up, and when I took the caps off, it doesn't look like this thing has been greased since 1976. So this is the top. This one actually looks pretty good. The bottom was like the grease was completely black and hard. Shouldn't be too bad to take the I-beam out. It's 2 bolts, one on the stabilizer bar and then one on the actual frame, one on the other side. All right, I think I'm gonna call it a night. It's getting kind of late, even though it doesn't look like it's late, but it's actually getting pretty late. Tomorrow, I gotta go and get a bigger press, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger and buy the big boy impact with a lot of more balls than the impact that I have here. Make things hopefully go a little bit smoother. All the money that I'm making on this job, I am literally dumping into tools to do this job. The bolt that bolts the stabilizer bar to the I-beam is not coming out at all. Luckily I have a bunch of 3/4 inch big truck sockets, and I was able to put an 87-foot bar on that socket and bust that nut loose, plus the heat persuasion. So tomorrow I'm gonna go grab some more tooling and whew.
2 days later.
All right, I don't really know where I left off. What you just watched was Thursday. Today is now Saturday. Work was kind of stressful yesterday, and I actually had to work a little bit today, Saturday. So I didn't really film a lot yesterday, because I'll be honest, I really wasn't in the mood to film a YouTube video yesterday after dealing with this. But I was able to get the entire left side completely dismantled. The right side is mostly taken apart. I just got basically the hardest bolts of them all. So Time to fire up the torch and continue the process. We're gonna continue on, and I'll get back with you after probably about an hour and a half, 2 hours of fighting. All right, right side is coming apart. Honestly, it's not as bad as the left side. This, when I took a couple of the bolts out, the bolts had very old anti-seize on them, but at least there was some sort of lubricant. But I'm taking what I learned from the left side and applying it to the right side. And what I've learned is basically this. So I got 2 more bolts, and then the entire axle and stabilizer bar, whatever, will come out. Then I got to go set up my new press, and then we should be starting getting over the hill. I know it's taken me 3-4 days to dismantle, and probably, hopefully, about 4 hours to put back together. So, you know, going back together doesn't require the heat and beat. All right, after 3 days of heating and beating, and the last clip you just watched, I jinxed myself because the next bolt that I tackled after I recorded that little clip was the hardest to get off in the entire front end. The bolt, or the nut, had to be completely red hot. It was an 1 1/8" nut, red hot before I could eat, and I had breaker bar on breaker bar on breaker bar to get it off. So it's all apart. I'm gonna go set up the new press, and then we're gonna start pressing old bushings out. And then I'm pretty much at the top of the hill. It's all downhill from here. And I don't even care if I jinx myself, because even if I do jinx myself, it's still gonna be easier than that. All right, new press is set up. It's a 12-tonner, and it took all 12 tons to get this kingpin out. So the reason why I was changing the kingpin was there's a lot of up and down play in the spindle, and this bottom bearing, the pivot bearing, is completely worn out and smushed. This thing has not been serviced in probably since the 1980s. That kingpin did not want to come out. Like I said, it took basically all 12 tons to get it out. I had to flip the axle over, you know, keep press down, flip it, press down, keep working it out, and it finally popped. Now that that is out, I'm going to go down to this end and press out this bushing here. Alrighty, boys. One side is done. New kingpin, new bushings, new bushing on the inner side. Not terrible. The kingpin has not been, I don't know if I recorded, I'm lost at this moment. I don't know if I recorded this, but the kingpin didn't come out very hard. I think I already recorded this. Other side is next, but unfortunately for you guys, this is in, you know, seconds. You know, this video is in clips going by in seconds. For me, it's already 5, and since I had to work this morning 4-ish hours or so, I don't have any time left of the day because we have to do our grocery shopping tonight. So I'm pretty much done for today. So tomorrow is Sunday. I think I can probably wrap it up tomorrow because I learned a lot on the left side. So now I have like the proper tooling to push push the kingpin, push the bushing out of the other side, so I don't have to search for stuff. So that should go pretty fast. So we are going to continue tomorrow.
The next day.
All right, it is day 74 working on this truck. Gonna get the right side all pressed in, or pressed out, cleaned up, pressed in, and then we're gonna start the assembling process. I apologize, I'm running very slow today. The future race car driver did not sleep very well last night at all. The wife took care of him most of the night, so I got up and took care of him this morning while she took a little nap. So we're all tired and moving a little slow, and I'm getting my butt kicked by a Ford. So we're gonna get everything changed out, get it done, and then I have my brother's car. I have all kind of ball joints to do on my brother's car later today. So I'm busy and I have to get all that done because I got customer cars coming in tomorrow. So let's get at it. All right, boys, I think we're officially on the downhill, the down slope. The right side, new bushing is pressed in. On the axle side where it mounts to the frame, kingpin is pressed out, new kingpin is in, all new bushings, seals, the thrust bearing that goes in between the axle and the spindle. All that's brand new. I'm gonna go grab a fresh tube of grease. I had to go get some grease last night, it ran out. Grease everything up. I'm gonna tell the owner in about 500 miles, grease everything again, just to be safe. We're gonna start assembling. I'm tired, but I think we're on the downhill now because I don't really foresee any more obstacles, but you know. All right, so first thing we're gonna do to start the assembling process is we're gonna do the right side stabilizer bar. So I got all new bushings for here. I did get a new washer here, but the problem is I can't get this one off, and this is so corroded underneath it. I don't want to take a chance of heating and beating. Take a chance on me. To get this off and take a chance of actually damaging underneath this bushing here. So this bushing slides on, slides against the washer, goes in that hole right there, and then focus. And then this bushing goes on the outside, and got a brand new nut and washer, and this goes right there, sandwiches them together. And then on this truck, I'm not sure on other trucks, make sure that you have put the tie rod through this little hole right here before you mount it, otherwise the tie rod will not go in. So focus, come on. So we're gonna install this, and then we're gonna throw the axle in and start buttoning everything back up. You GoPro now, so hopefully you can hear me and see me okay. So right side is done, hub is on, everything is good, everything is tight, double checking everything. Just gotta clean up the rotor a little bit where I touched it with greasy fingers. Other than that, we're gonna move to the left side, and hopefully it goes together fairly easy like the right side. Okay, so starting with the left side, first thing we're gonna do is install the stabilizer bar, bushings that hook or mount to the frame, and then got new washers, new lock nut as well. Install the stabilizer bar, install the axle, and then everything. It's self-explanatory. It really is. So this side here, everything is coming apart. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're going to open. Okay. Go to the top of this. That in. That sits there. So this sits inside this bushing here, inside the frame. All right, so the stabilizer bar is up and in with the new bushings, but I did not tighten it yet. Basically, I get everything together and sort of squared up, and then I tighten everything down. The one problem you have with that is you have to remember to go back and make sure you got everything tight. So next we're going to install the I-beam with the spindle. So what I'm going to do, or what a problem I'm having, is where the I-beam bolts to the frame, it looks like they hit something and they bent the ears up, and it's basically the ears, the bracket or the bracing is bent up over the I-beam. So when I pulled it down, I had to bend all that back, and it's not bent back far enough. So before I install it, before it fits back up in there, I have to bend the ears back or bend the bracket back in order for the I-beam to get up in there. That was really hard to explain for some reason. So I'm going to get under there with a croissant wrench, bend the ears back up, throw the axle in, throw the bolts in, and then get everything buttoned up, put the spring in. It does need shocks very badly, because I can take the shock and, up and down with that. That looked appropriate. All right, sorry, I didn't plug the microphone in, so hopefully you can hear me better now. After 4 days of heating and beating, struggling, cussing, sweating, it is finally done. I'm going to throw the wheels on it, torque the wheels down, and get this thing out of here, because my brother's coming for ball joints. So, wow, this was a project. Disclaimer, if you plan on doing this at home and you do not have a torch, don't even attempt it. Before I throw the wheel back on, I'm going to kind of show you quickly what all this entails, being a twin I-beam kingpin front suspension on a Ford. So I can tell you right now, just routine brakes, these pins right here are a pain in the bootay. They get all there's a bushing in here, a rubber bushing, they get all seized in there, they don't want to come out. So to the owner of, if you're watching this video, these are going to need replaced before too long. So remove the caliper, move the rotor and hub assembly, that all comes off, and then you got the brake caliper bracket, that comes off. Now you're down to basically just bare spindle. Remove the tie rod, and then this is the fun part. move to your spring. There's a nut right here holding the spring on. You remove that and the spring comes out, and then underneath this, well, basically the spring right here, there's a spacer. There's another nut right here that bolts, that it tightens up this long bolt that all this is attached to. So that long bolt goes all the way through and attaches with 2 nuts technically, and that's fun to get out too. This is all a lot of fun. Just heads up. So then back here you got your stabilizer nut. No big deal. That came off pretty simple, pretty easily. And then basically it's just honestly nuts and bolts to remove it all. It's pretty simple, very, very easy, basic front suspension. So realistically, if this thing was maintained properly and greased and lubricated, honestly, realistically, I should have been able to take a punch and punch the kingpins out. But these actually, I had a 12-ton press to press these out, but I did get them out. But if I come across any more tips and tricks, I'll let you know. But right now, we're gonna throw the wheels on and get this thing out. After a very, very dead battery, we went for a little test drive, went down to the intersection and back. And up the driveway might be not even a quarter mile down and back. So not terrible. Everything that I did is now nice and firm. There's no clunking, no clanking. It does need shocks very badly. All right, guys. Well, that is it. She is done besides the U-joint. That was a project, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm as fully as prepared as I could have been with the torch impacts. I even had to break out the big boy sockets, the truck sockets, the 3/4 inch drive big boys, and breaker bars and all kinds of goodies to get that thing apart. But we got her done, and I'm glad. So I think that's gonna about wrap up this video. I just got word my brother may not make it tonight, which is good. I can use a nice slow evening. I'm gonna clean very deep clean the shop, mop the floors, clean all the tools, because this shop, I mean, it kind of made a mess of my floor. I appreciate everybody for watching. We have a few videos gonna be rolling out the next couple of weeks. I got 2 projects currently in the parking lot right now I'm gonna make videos on. So lots of good content coming up, and some not shop related content, which is good. We need a break from the shop on the channel, so that's good. But I appreciate everybody for watching the video and supporting the channel. We do. We really enjoy filming the videos. I apologize, they're kind of sporadic, but like I said in the previous video, in this video, I think I said in this video, this is, you know, life, and this is what gets us some extra income to be able to have our toys and you know, all kinds of stuff, go on vacations. And so this comes first before the YouTubing. So like I said, appreciate everybody for watching the videos and supporting the channels. And with that said, we will see you in the next video.